What's up, guys? You know me. This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I want to talk to you about the creative process in these so-called comic book movies. And, you know, now that we're going into phase 4 of Marvel, and who knows what's going on with the DCEU, you know, the discussion has to be had. Like, what's going to happen going on into the future? Because what we've seen from Marvel, I really do feel like we've reached the epitome of what comic book movies can be, you know, over at DC. You know, we did the Dark Knight trilogy, we did Wonder Woman, we did Aquaman, and, you know, a lot of people are wondering, like, where do we go from here? What are we going to do? Are we justified in our concerns going forward about the influence of SJW Hollywood on the stories that we have all known and loved so well when we were growing up? Yeah, well, I do think that it's justified, you know, to be concerned. And I offer you this article that I saw not too long ago as proof that everything ain't kosher, man, going forward. You know what I mean? There's reason for concern. Because if you're like me, you were probably kind of looking forward to a Black Widow standalone movie. You know, this is something whose time has come. You know, we've all been waiting for this, you know, and now we have the screenwriter saying that she really doesn't care about the canon of the Black Widow character and the Black Widow comic. She is going to take whatever liberties are necessary to make the film that is reflective of her and her values. All right, so I am going to quote this article here that I found on newsarama.com, for example, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the headline goes, Black Widow screenwriter will skip comic book canon that's discriminatory. Okay, and this is by George Marston. It goes on to say, Black Widow screenwriter Jack Schaefer, Jack, that's J-A-C, I guess maybe that's short for Jacqueline, Jackass, I don't know. Black Widow screenwriter Jack Schaefer isn't concerned with directly adapting comic books for the film. In fact, she's willing to make any changes necessary to tell the story right. Okay, you want to tell the story right, then you might want to stick to the source material. But no, that's not what she's saying. She says, I'm not interested in adhering to comic book canon that is discriminatory in any way or that violates my value system. My value system? No. Schaefer told Inverse, saying she's not concerned with whether her script adheres to a specific comic book story. When people react with hate, it saddens me, and I think it's a shame. But that's not where I want to put my energy, so I'm not interested in the loud, sour-graped voices. Okay, goes on to say, that said, Schaefer offered few details on the plot. Of course, she offered few details on the plot. She's not thinking about the plot, she's thinking about her values. Who cares about the plot, right? Including what changes or alterations may have been necessitated by the script. The film is set partially in the past, following the events of 2016's Captain America Civil War. Black Widow is due out in theaters May 1st, 2020. Alright guys, there you go. Now listen, I just wanted to do this quick one just to point out what I feel is a major indication of what's wrong going forward with Marvel Phase 4. I mean, this woman, at least she was honest. You know, she had the nerve to come out and say, I don't give a shit about the comic book character, the story, anything. All I care about are my values. Now, let me ask you something. I've known a few writers in my day. What kind of writer can't get beyond their values to write a story? You know, every writer that I've ever known, including my beautiful, loving baby sister, who's a writer, they always challenge themselves to write from a different point of view. You know, they do research, you know, maybe they'll conduct interviews, you know, things like that, to make sure that their characters are as authentic as possible, you know, and honest as possible. But having the writer's voice in the character can be a real drag, man. You know what I mean? It's like Rian Johnson does that crap. It's like everything that you saw in The Last Jedi is his sick, twisted, narcissistic delusion of grandeur having like psychosis, you know? And what this woman is saying really, really just takes all the air just completely out of this whole thing. Like, wait. Yo, that's nasty. Anyway, guys, Yeah. So like I was saying, it's lazy is what it is. It's like, you know, you want the character to reflect your values. Well, why don't you create the character? If you created the character, or if it were a biography, then I can understand where you're coming from, where it's just got to reflect you. But nothing could be duller than you saying that you are going to be discriminating against anything that you find in the comic that's against your values. You do realize that this character probably existed before you did, and it was certainly on screen before you got a hold of it. You know, so how are you going to serve the character if you're just going to, you know, just cut and rework it, you know, to fit your mold in the image of you? I mean, how vain, man. How freaking self-centered. I'm not interested in that. And I think that most people won't be interested in it, because now we've known the character of Black Widow as played by the lovely Scarlett Johansson for a very long time. You know, now she's going to have your voice. She's going to have your values. That's dishonest, you know. So I just wanted to point it out, guys. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I really think this is a major indication of what's wrong, you know, in the industry now. Nobody is really challenging themselves to see outside of their so-called values. They're using these characters, and I said it before, they're raping these characters to trumpet their own cause, you know, in their own political stance and views, and, you know, and quiet as kept, their own discriminations, you know. So that's what's going on with that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Marvel Phase 4 is just looking better and better all the time. So you can get at me, guys, in the comment section. You can like, share, subscribe, and of course hit the notification bell. Make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube is doing what it does. And of course you can catch me on Twitter. Alright guys, that's it for now. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on!